Jura vs Borushiki is a fan favorite fight that everybody wants to see take place. However, with the ending of the last chapter, with Jura who obtained Hidari's torn soul, it almost seemed like to most people that Jura was going to run away. But this isn't actually the case, as it seems like all the conditions have been met for not only Jura to continue fighting, but for him to fight against none other than Borushiki himself. And the preview for the next chapter almost confirms it. So let's just start off the video by literally reading what we have for the preview. Boruto chapter 13, preview from V-Jumped. Konoha falls. Boruto is caught off guard. Jura pierces his chest. Overwhelming Konoha with tremendous power. What will be the ending of Boruto vs Jura? So with just this little preview that we currently have, a few things are already confirmed. The fact that Boruto was in fact caught off guard, but like a lot of people have been saying, and the people who want to hate on Boruto and hype up Jura for this feat are all going to be saying that no, Boruto was not caught off guard. But yes, we have it here that Boruto was caught off guard. This is officially confirmed. But this not only confirms that aspect, but it also confirms that we are in the ending of Boruto vs Jura, or at least the first iteration of Boruto vs Jura at the current moment. So it means that this next chapter is going to be absolutely crucial. But this isn't where it ends. If this was truly the only thing that we got, I could understand why some people may not be 100% convinced that Borushiki vs Jura would take place. But when you take into account the next thing that it said, you would have the same opinion that I currently have. As we continue with Boruto has obtained the key to freeing his imprisoned master, his soul. However, due to Jura's sniper attack, his soul is stolen, rendering him unable to fight. So with this translation, obviously this is a fan translation, as we don't get the official translations for V-Jumped, we have to translate them ourselves. But based off what we are currently seeing from this fan translation, if you fill in the gaps with all the spelling mistakes with Boruto being spelled with a P, and we have soul, which is probably referring to a soul thorn, you would see at the end of it that it is saying that Boruto has been rendered unable to fight. However, they are saying that the ending of Boruto vs Jura is going to be taking place in this chapter. How do these two things end up matching? If Boruto is unable to fight, then Jura vs Boruto is never going to end up happening since Boruto is already down. But since they are saying that it's going to be happening, it means that somebody else inside Boruto will be taking his place in taking on this fight. And the only person that fits this requirement, the one we have been waiting for to make his appearance in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, that guy is none other than Momoshiki, as Momoshiki will control Boruto's body and use the karma and go crazy, and we will be seeing him fight versus Jura. And Kawaki, the one that a lot of people were thinking is going to have to show something, maybe Karma version 2, it doesn't appear like this is going to be the case. It doesn't appear like Kawaki will be trying to fight Jura again. And you can't blame Kawaki. Kawaki got absolutely destroyed, absolutely packed up by Jura, and it wasn't funny, to the point where Kawaki was next to Jura. Even with Delta on his side, he was still afraid to go and fight Jura. We know that Kawaki can be a knucklehead at times, somebody who went to face cold without a plan. But against Jura, but against true power, Kawaki didn't have the guts, or Kawaki just simply didn't want to waste his time fighting somebody as strong as Jura, questioning exactly what was his plan. So it doesn't seem like Kawaki is going to be the one to take on this mantle. Sarada, Sumire, Konohama, all these guys who struggled against Hidari, and Boruto basically had to come and do most of the work. We know that Sarada did put up a valiant effort, however, she really didn't do too much against Hidari, only ended up helping out in the setup of Rasengan Uzihiko. So we know they are not going to be the ones to do anything. And the only other person who at first I really thought we could see Damien make an appearance and do something against Jura, especially due to the fact that Himawari was involved, but now that Himawari has been kept safe, there is literally no real reason why Damien would make a move, especially due to the fact that we have another Shinju who is targeting his sister, and Damien's only real goal as a Knight of Ada is to protect his older sister. So that's exactly what he is focused about. We haven't seen anything from Damien, so I don't think we should rely on Damien to make a move. this leaves the last person himself to be Momoshiki, taking control of Boruto's body like he usually does when Boruto is injured to actually do something. But this is where a lot of people are just going to be like, no, Boruto is simply going to heal himself using his Otsutsuki powers so that he doesn't have to rely on Momoshiki to actually end up taking control. However, this could be true. Boruto is an Otsutsuki. Boruto could heal himself. I am not denying that. But whose power would Boruto be taking on when he is healing himself using Otsutsuki power? And that power would be none other than Momoshiki. So, regardless of who actually ends up healing Boruto, the ending factor would be that Momoshiki would end up taking control. Let's explore both routes. We have one route where Momoshiki heals Boruto. Momoshiki heals Boruto just like he did in the fight versus Ishiki, Sasuke, and Naruto. Then we later on see a Momoshiki who would be able to take control of Boruto's body quite easily, just like he did in that fight, and later on ended up destroying Sasuke's Rinnegan. So if Momoshiki heals Boruto, Boruto is cooked and the rest of the people around him, because Borushiki will make an appearance. However, if Boruto himself decides to heal himself, he would have to rely on Otsutsuki power, on his Otsutsuki prowess, which would mean he would be tapping into Momoshiki. And we have currently seen, just like what Boruto did in the fight versus Code, when he used version 2 Karma, he was tapping into Momoshiki's powers, which made it easier for Momoshiki himself to be able to take control of Boruto's body. Yes, he had a heart attack, however, Boruto didn't run out of chakra in that instance. He still had chakra to fight, but he wasn't able to resist Momoshiki due to Boruto himself tapping into Momoshiki's own power. This may be one of the many reasons why we don't see Boruto use the Karma in the time skip, because if he is tapping into Momoshiki's powers, it makes it a lot easier for Momoshiki himself to be able to take control. And in the most recent appearance of Momoshiki, which took place in chapter 78, we know that following an injury, it is quite hard for Boruto to control Momoshiki. In chapter 78, Boruto got his ice guard, and then a bunch of various people, Sasuke, Mitsuki, Konohamaru, and we even had Shikamaru make an appearance. However, due to the injury that Boruto sustained, even though he wasn't out of chakra, just by having his ice guard, Momoshiki was able to make an appearance in that chapter, and caused Kawaki to escape the checkmate that he seemed to be placed under. Then we had everything that happened with Omnipotence and Ada, and Boruto losing everything, which comes to prove when Boruto sustains an injury, Momoshiki is easily able to come and heal Boruto, which we have seen multiple times, and also come and take control for a period of time. This means, at least to me, that Borushiki versus Jura is inevitable, especially after Boruto took on such an attack, to the point where we have in the preview that Boruto has been rendered unable to fight. So Boruto versus Jura, in my opinion, is a wonderful, cool fight, but it opens up so many various possibilities when it comes to the lore. In this fight, we're going to be figuring out just how strong Jura is. Is Borushiki going to be able to push Jura to use all of his power? We had in the fight between Himawari and Jura, we had a fight where we had a Jura who literally said, hold on, slowly, you're starting to make me want to use my full power. However, Himawari wasn't strong enough. And we all know that Boruto is stronger already in base than Himawari, so the fight between Boruto himself versus Jura would have been already interesting, but to add Borushiki on top of it, this is where things get even more interesting and even more problematic when we come to find out exactly who will be the stronger two. When Boruto was using the Karma version 2, which was Karma when he was tapping into Momoshiki's powers and Experience versus Code, Momoshiki then later on took control of Boruto's body, and the difference between that power and Boruto's own when he was using version 2 Karma, there was such a gap that even Code noticed, and Code was absolutely on the defensive. We could see a similar power. We have a Boruto who doesn't even use version 2 Karma at the current moment, and he is so strong. Now imagine Momoshiki in control of that base, that is already so strong. We know Karma version 2 is an exponential increase in not only power but speed, so the monster that is about to be unleashed is going to be something completely different. But that's not the only thing we'll come to find out. Jura and Boruto's strength is going to be quite interesting. but we are also going to come to find out exactly what new abilities Momoshiki may be able to use in Boruto's body. Let's give examples like Kinshiki's weaponry. We saw a Kinshiki who could create various weaponry through his use of the chakra weapons and whatever tool he had access to. We have a Momoshiki who has access to the Rinnegan, who has access to various different abilities. Is Momoshiki freely going to be able to use those abilities now that even before the time skip, Boruto said that he feels like he can channel more of Momoshiki's power? Everything that we have been hinting towards when Momoshiki does end up making an appearance in this fight is going to help to confirm these various questions that we have. Does Boruto really have access to the Rinnegan, just like Kawaki has access to Ishiki's dojutsu? We're going to be able to find out a lot of these various things and how exactly Momoshiki wants to use Boruto's new abilities. Boruto has a Uzuhiko, Boruto has the Flying Raijin. There are a lot of abilities that Boruto has access to, and we already saw with the Rasengan just how much Momoshiki could make use of the abilities that Boruto has. He is a genius in his own right, so it is very plausible for us to see a unique variation of maybe the Rasengan Uzuhiko, and I'm completely hyped for it. But to me, the most important thing that we will come to find out is Momoshiki's true plans. Does Momoshiki still want to go down the route of causing Boruto to despair by taking away everything from Boruto? Maybe this is by continuing to ruin his reputation, but we already have a Boruto who has accepted the fact that he is going to be looked as the bad guy. It is totally fine for Boruto if he is still able to protect his loved ones. So maybe that route truly won't work. So does Momoshiki have a different plan in causing Boruto to lose the will to live? This is going to be quite interesting. So we have to find out, does Momoshiki plan on having another vessel? What is his reaction going to be to the Shinju, and especially the Soul Thorn that we have just been made aware of? This is going to be quite intriguing to see, and Otsutsuki's reaction to these incomplete divine trees that we see the Shinju represent. The state of the planet we're going to be truly understanding. Is Momoshiki going to cooperate with the divine trees? Is he going to cooperate with the Shinju to lead to the creation of a chakra fruit? As we have Otsutsuki's who utilize the Ten-Tails that turns into the divine trees, so technically they could end up working together. All these various things like Jura's goals, his intentions when it comes to the Otsutsuki's, all these various things are going to be quite intriguing. And the most important question is Boruto going to be able to regain control after Momoshiki is to go on a rampage in his body? What is the method going to be like this time? We had in the past that Momoshiki had to absorb various ninjutsu. Then we see a Boruto who is able to take control. However, as the series progresses, it's only a time limit. It seems like Momoshiki has a certain amount of time in which he is able to fight in Boruto's body. All these various questions are going to be quite intriguing. Will Momoshiki attempt to kill Boruto's loved ones? All these various things, and Kawaki's reaction too. How does Kawaki react to a Boruto who still proves that he hasn't mastered his karma and that he is still a threat for the planet? Kawaki has realized this through all the fights that take place, but now with a new threat of Borushiki, it is going to be hammered onto Kawaki. And that's why I say Momoshiki making an appearance and fighting Jura as Borushiki is going to be a crucial fight, and one that will go down to dictate the rest of the series. But speaking on Momoshiki's reaction to the Soul Thorn, let's answer a few of you guys' questions when it comes to the Soul Thorn and exactly how it's going to be applied to the story. The first question/statement is by Saint Productions 1. I believe Code was watching the entire thing and he knows he can level up. And when he gets a Soul Thorn, he will be able to awaken his Rinnegan that's under his claw mark on his forehead. I really like the sound of it because Code technically still has access to the claw marks. He can go in them no matter what he does. It is his ability. Although he lost the reign to the Ten-Tails, he did not lose the reign to his old ability, which is the claw marks. This makes it quite interesting because technically, if Code wanted to, he could slash the Soul Thorn at any given moment. And that would cause Boruto to rage even harder at the likes of Code because he is the reason for everything that is going on right now. Code, just Just like he said at the end of the first part of Boruto, he really wants to take everything from Boruto, even though he is under omnipotence and it truly is supposed to be Kawaki. Kawaki dodged a bullet by having omnipotence take place. But yes, as we currently see, we have a soul thorn that appears to have a Renegon inside of it. So if Code ends up eating it, I wouldn't be surprised if he awakens that ability, especially because it is connected to Sasuke and his chakra, due to him having both Ashura and Indira's chakra. So the person who consumes that chakra should have the Renegon by default, and it appearing in his forehead would make a lot of sense because we literally saw a scar and a claw mark. We don't really see that in the time skip, so maybe the idea was scrapped and retcon, but I still like the sound of it. I really like the sound of having Code eat Hidari's Renegon. Whether it happens or not, we'll just have to wait and find out. The next comment we'll be discussing is by Twins, and he says, I am telling you guys that Momoshiki will eat one of them for sure. And that would be quite intriguing to have a Momoshiki consume one of the soul thorn. What will happen to Boruto? And how would Boruto, let's say for example Momoshiki takes control of Boruto's body and we have him fight a Jura. Maybe he beats Jura, or maybe not, but he somehow obtains Hidari's soul thorn, the key to saving Sasuke, and he ends up eating it. It would absolutely ruin Boruto, and maybe be one of the reasons why he is able to take control of Boruto's body for a certain period of time, and cause Boruto to give up on living. This is something that if it happened, it would be absolutely crazy. I don't know how you guys react, but it would be absolutely crazy, a crazy plot twist, and low-key it would be fun. I don't know if I want it to happen, but it is intriguing to think about. Lastly, we have Lord Bonkage. Two wild theories. Sasuke gets brought back with a status boost and a new Renegon eye, or option 2, Borushiki eats it and absorbs Sasuke's soul, and that's how we purge Momoshiki out. We have already discussed the Borushiki eating the soul thorn, but how about Sasuke being brought back with a new Renegon eye? Watch this video right here to find out, as it is pretty much confirmed that if Sasuke is brought back, he will have a new Renegon eye.